In which European country do residents literally live on a powder keg? Where is the world's largest minefield located? And which countries have been unable to clear mines for 40 years? The soldiers of the Moroccan army set a record for the number of mines laid. In the early 80s, they turned part of Western Sahara into a real valley of death. Part of Western Sahara is cut off from the continent by the Moroccan Wall, or as it is also called, the Wall of Shame. Its length is 2,700 kilometers. There is no such amount of explosives anywhere else in the world. The figures are just terrifying. There are about 7 million mines located in the territory of this wall construction. A person who understands military affairs is amazed. Yes, I also understand what power lies under this wall. Western Sahara was occupied by the Spanish until 1975. When the Europeans left, Morocco and Mauritania began to divide the territory, and the indigenous inhabitants of the desert, or as they are called, the Saharawi, demanded independence and formed a rebel liberation movement. In 1979, the Mauritanian army retreated, but the Moroccans continued the war for the desert. As a result, the main combat forces of the Saharawi were cut off by the Wall of Shame. The Moroccans divided the territory into two regions. They kept the west for themselves, and the eastern side, which was called the Free Zone, was managed by the rebels from the Polisario movement and the Sahrawi military organization. Currently, 40,000 people live there. They are squeezed between Algeria and Mauritania without access to the sea, and the living conditions for them are simply terrible. The Sahrawi live in refugee camps or wander. To this day, the Moroccan military has not defused a single mine. On the contrary, new watchtowers appear, and checkpoints are equipped with modern weapons. Often, nomads and emigrants try to illegally cross the border through the minefield. The result is serious injuries, severed limbs, and hundreds of deaths. The Moroccan authorities are not accidentally still not clearing the field. They simply do not want to give up the territory, which is rich in phosphates, oil, and natural gas. The uniqueness and at the same time the danger of the whole story is that those who mined and to this day have not made any attempts to clear and remove mines. And the Moroccan Wall, if we are talking about it now, is not stuffed there. It is said that it is not on fire. According to the United Nations, 82 countries in the world still have mined territories. American bombers dropped about 2 million tons of cluster bombs on Laos in 13 years of secret war. The peculiarity of such warheads is that during the explosion, they break up into hundreds of small munitions, which remain in the ground for decades. Submunitions of the first bomb clusters often did not explode and turned into anti-personnel mines. To make it easier for sappers to find them, manufacturers covered them with bright multicolored paint. But this began to attract the attention of children. They picked up bombs, died, or were injured. Another deadly legacy was left to Bosnia and Herzegovina. The state is called the most mined country in Europe. This is the result of the civil war that began in 1992. About 100,000 people died during the 3 years of confrontation. Another 2 million became refugees. To this day, people in Bosnia are still being blown up by mines, most often hunters, villagers, and builders. In the last 20 years, more than 1,500 people have been injured and killed. When cultivating the soil, some work related to the laying of communications, excavators, tractors. Please, somewhere in the uncharted territory, pipelines and brigades come across such finds. Unexploded bombs from World War II are also found in developed European countries. Military historians claim that there are almost 21,000 shells on British territory. The scientists' words were confirmed by the findings of 2015 when London builders discovered 9 Nazi shells. This is the result of the German Operation London Blitz. In September 1940, the Nazis dropped almost 7,000 shells on the British capital. And a few months later, in December, the Luftwaffe repeated the operation. That night, 8,000 Britons died. In July 1943, the British Air Force responded to the Nazis with Operation Gomorrah. The name was borrowed from the biblical city, which was wiped off the face of the earth by streams of fire and sulfur. The fate of Gomorrah was almost repeated by Hamburg. The British turned it into ruins and killed more than 20,000 people. Unexploded shells are still being found by German sappers. Quite recently, in 2017, the largest evacuation took place in Germany since World War II. A British bomb weighing 1,800 kilograms was found in a construction pit in Frankfurt. Almost 70,000 people were evacuated from an area of 1.5 square kilometers. In 2017, the 50-year war of the Colombian army with the rebels ended. During this time, 220,000 Colombians died, and more than 11,000 civilians were blown up in minefields. This is the second largest indicator in the world. Afghanistan remains the leader in the number of unexploded shells. There are 270 square kilometers of ammunition there. In terms of area, the hazardous territory surpasses many European countries. What do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion is very important to me. Don't forget to give me a like if you liked it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.